I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2019 Vilonia Eagle football preseason show. We've got all the coaches here with us today. Got the broadcast team with me. We got a round of questions here. We're going to go through with the coaches and get some of their insight on everything and learn a little bit more about who they are as a football coach and as a person. Learn some more about your Vilonia Eagles football team. I'm Corey Erie, for anybody that doesn't know me. I've got Alan Wade, Grant McNew, and Madeline Tipton with us of the broadcast team. We got our man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, back there on the camera as usual. And want to just say thanks for tuning in, and glad you have an opportunity to learn a little bit about Vilonia football today. We're going to start out with going around the table, letting each one of the coaches introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their family, and then we'll get into the questions here. So I'm going to start with Coach Langrel over here to my left.
My name's Todd Langrel. I'm head football coach, defensive coordinator here at Vilonia. I have a wife. Her name's Elizabeth. We've been married for 23 years, August the 3rd. Two boys, Trent, which is 20 years old. He's going to UCA, and Tate will be a senior this year at Vilonia.
Coach Stout.
Yeah, my name is Michael Stout. I coach safeties here in Vilonia. I'm also a track coach. My wife is Rebecca Stout. She teaches 10th grade English here in Vilonia also, coaches volleyball, which is where she's at right now. I have 3 kids. Ethan, who is in 11th grade now. Emily is going in her 8th grade season, and she's off playing volleyball today. And my youngest daughter is going in her 6th grade. This is my 14th or 16th year here. I'm not sure. It's all been so wonderful.
All right, well, I'm Matt Kane. I coach the defensive line. I help Coach D with the O-line. My wife is Heather. She works in Little Rock at Baptist Hospital doing radiology. We don't have any kids yet, but that's about to change in February. We're expecting, so we're excited about that. I'm starting my 4th year here, so we're excited about it.
My name is Tom Stevens. I coach Hornets here right now. This is my 15th year in the district. My wife also works in the district. Her name's Anna. She's occupational therapy for here. I've got a daughter going into 1st grade named Harper.
Yep.
My name's David Smith. This is my 1st year here. I'll be a 7th grade coach and helping out in any format that they need me at the high school staff. My wife, Danielle, teaches 2nd grade in the Cabot School District, and I have 2 daughters, Ryan, who is 5, and Ivy, that is 2.
My name is Larry Davison. I've been here 2 months. I'll be coaching offensive line and helping Coach Kane with defensive line. My wife, Andrea, she is a kindergarten teacher in the Riverview School District. My son, Isaac, will be going into 1st grade, and Olivia will be, she's going into 10th grade.
My name is Josh McIntyre. I'll be coaching receivers this year. I have a wife, been married for 7 years now. Her name's Taylor. She's a cosmetologist at Conway. No kids. We have 2 fur babies, though. 2 pit bulls. One's 5, one's 4. Marsh and Mellow is their name.
All right, I'm John Sweeney, offensive coordinator. 2nd year at Vilonia. I'm married to Lacey. We have 2 children. Tinley is 5, starting kindergarten this year, and Jack is 2.
All right, guys, I appreciate all that. It's nice to learn a little bit about some behind-the-scenes stuff with the coaches and know that you guys are more than just football coaches. I think most people do, especially some of you have been around here for more years. A lot of people know you, some of you are from the town, so that's great. I'm going to throw out the first question. I'm going to start with Coach Langrel on this one. It's kind of a general question, and it would be, why do you want Vilonia to have a great season? And then also tell me a little bit about why you want us to have a great football program.
Well, I think for me personally, I want Vilonia to gain respect, not just for our great town of Vilonia, but around the state, of being the hardest working coaching staff, the team. When we show up and when we leave, I want other people to know that we've earned that respect, and that it means something. Football's bigger than just football, the game of football, and we've got some great kids here, and they deserve to be good. They deserve to be coached hard. I guess that's the biggest thing, that we want to gain the state's respect. And what was the follow-up question?
Just, the same on, I think you kind of answered it all in one. It was, why do you want us to have a great season, and then why do you want us to build a great program here in Vilonia?
Well, that's it. I think a winning tradition leads to winning, and we've got 25 seniors on this team, and they're winners. And here again, it goes back to I want to have the respect of the state. That when Vilonia shows up, hey, here we go.
Absolutely. I think guys like myself and Alan, who have been around here, we're lifelong Vilonia Eagle, players and fans, and we feel the same way. I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for a football program. Anybody else have anything they want to add to that particular question?
Well, I think that your football is your first major, I guess, male sport of the year. And I think the success of the football kind of sets up the entire school year. I think it's the first big events that the school sees and the community sees. I think it can bring not only the entire community together, but bring the entire school together in a very, very positive way. So I think not only does it impact, like Coach says, our young men who deserve success. They are some of the hardest working young men you'll ever see in any sport. But I think it also sets up the rest of the year for us.
I'm going to follow up on that. When a kid goes down the hallway, when they put that Vilonia jersey on, I want their chest sticking out. I want it to be prideful, and I want because everybody can't do it. We've got 76 kids on the team right now, and if everybody could do it, we'd have 150. It's hard. They put in their time, and we know that we've got the recipe, and we're doing that. But the people in the schoolhouse and around the community, when they put that jersey on, I want it to mean something.
Coach Sweeney, Coach Mack, Coach Smith, you guys are all former players here. You got anything to add about? I mean, I know you guys had some success on the field as football players back in your day. What does it mean to you to possibly be a part of building us back into a successful program?
Yeah, man, I think it's huge. I think these guys would agree that there's some pride that goes with it. That it's awesome to be back. It's awesome to be a part of it. And it's crazy too, because when I played my senior year, we had a transition very similar to this, and we kind of helped transition that into a new staff, a new program, and that's kind of when success started a little more. And Coach Mack was on that team as well, and so, man, it's a big deal, because I can remember, just going off what they said, I can remember walking the halls when it wasn't a big deal because you weren't very good, and then as it started changing, it got a bigger deal, and it got, and Coach is right. This town in particular, man, if football is good, it's good, and then this town will rally around us, and they'll do things, kids hadn't even seen before, just because they love Vilonia football.
They're longing for it. The town's longing for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this town loves football, and once you have that success, and that's what we want. We want to bring pride back to Vilonia, bring it back for the football program. I was blessed to be a part of some good teams when I was in school, being able to make it to the state championship, and it's just a different animal, the benefits that you get from that, and how the town reacts to you, how the school, just the people in the hallway, they want to be at the games. They're patting you on the back. Just that's what we want to get back to.
No, when I was a senior in high school, we were 1-9. And the stands were packed. Then after halftime, when the band got done playing, everybody would leave. And then I can remember when these guys went on their run, you're excited about it. You'll travel with them. I remember going to Harrison and watching this dude. I forget if it was a bad snap or a fumble, and the sucker picks it up and runs it in for a touchdown. When you're good, these guys want us to win. They want an opportunity to go and cheer for us, to travel to the ends of the earth, if you will, Alma, Harrison, to watch us play and to win. And if you give them a reason to do it, they're going to pack it up and they're going to be there.
Anybody else?
I'd like to coattail some of that. You know, I graduated, I played ball here as well back in the early 90s, but I think what our coaching staff did that we didn't realize as players and what you guys are doing and what I hear you guys saying, you're building these young men's character for life, teaching them life lessons and teaching them things that they don't realize that they're actually learning through the game of football. And I think that's what sets our young men up for success and future in life.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Grant, what you got?
Okay, Coach Langro, how do you guys teach character to your players?
Well, we've developed a character education manual. It's probably 125 pages long. That has lessons in it about accountability, punctualness. There's so many lessons in that, and I think football is one of the last things in the school system that teaches accountability. When a kid doesn't show up on time, why is that? And a coach or coaches have every single kid's phone number in their phone. And if they see that Josh McIntyre's not here, they're on the phone before practice starts, calling that person, getting them up, going to pick them up, just showing a care and a love that, if a kid knows you're there for them, you love them, they're going to play hard for you. I get 10 texts a day from our kids, and that's just awesome to be able to. They let that guard down. They know they can talk to you, and I think that's part of building a successful program is those lessons that you're talking about, character education and accountability, and just let that guard down and be a father figure. Whatever you have to do, that's what we're trying to do.
Anybody else want to echo anything around teach character?
I think it's like Coach said, just hold them accountable. I've got old definition of character is just doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, even if no one's watching. Right. I think that Coach, with the new education he's doing, and I think the entire coach staff, we teach our kids to be accountable to each other. And they're Vilonia Eagles 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Everything they do, even outside of us, affects our program. And it's a philosophy I've had my entire career.
I got the next one, gentlemen. From a team's perspective, what are some of the extra things you guys do with the team besides football?
You're looking at me. I don't want to be the only one, but I'll answer it. Go ahead, Coach Sweeney.
Well, I was just going to touch on our this week. We're going to Clinton to stay at. I forget what it's called. Drawing a blank. It used to be Modern Woodman Camp. It's an overnight deal,
Right.
And so we'll leave Thursday morning early, and we'll bus them to Clinton. And when we get off that bus, we're not doing any football at all. We got fun stuff planned. We're going to share meals together. We're going to hang out. We're going to play volleyball. We're going to McIntyre's going to lead us to karaoke.
Hey, somebody needs to have their iPhone out.
Yeah, I heard that.
Facebook Live.
Coach Kane, are you leading dance lessons?
I am.
Okay.
I'll be teaching.
Can you demonstrate that?
But we're going to go hang out. It's just
Bond
get
with
away
the
from it.
teams.
Yeah, it's going to be bond. We got some stuff planned as far as character education goes, stuff that's going to help us in the season. But it's fun. It's going to be fun. They'll remember those hours, those 2 days that we spend together, more than they'll remember most stuff for the summer. So it's going to be real good.
And it won't have anything to do with football.
Nothing.
We won't talk any X's and O's, nothing like that. But it'll have I wish that's the great part of being part of Vilonia football, because these kids get that. There's so many kids that you wish they had something like that, and that's what makes this program separates itself from others.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next question is when fans leave a Vilonia football game, what do you want them to say about our team?
We won.
Amen to that.
That'd be the best part. That'd be the best part.
We won.
I want them leaving saying, no matter the situation, no matter the quarter, no matter the score, our guys, us as a staff, which will for sure be, but our kids, we never gave up. It doesn't matter score a quarter, if there's time left, if we just threw a pick, we just got a pick, nothing matters. Our attitude's right, our effort's right, and we're doing all we can to win that game, and we never give up. We're going to go. Our body language is going to be good all the way through, and we're going to be good. We're going to give it our all. We're going to lay it out on line, leave it on the field, whatever you want to say, but just be good the whole time, regardless of the situation.
I want them to leave and say, man, what are they feeding them guys? They play so hard. I mean, what are you doing there, coach? And I'm going to say, it's not me. It's because of them. They decided they wanted to be good, and that's what I want people leaving from. Man, they're unbelievable how hard they play.
Absolutely.
For me, I'm big on people leaving saying that those guys play together. I mean, you can tell that they're all together. It's not us and them. It's not offense and defense. It's not the seniors over here and the sophomores are way down here. It's everybody's together on the same page, working together for a common goal. That's what I want to see.
All right, next question then. So let's look at last year's season just for a minute, just touch on it briefly. 4-6 in a couple of really close games,
Some games that could have went either way.
definitely had a good look at the playoffs. Didn't quite get there, but let's talk about anybody that wants to talk about some type of a turning point or a defining moment for the football team last year, and it could be a good or a bad. Just talk about that for a minute.
All right, I got one. We'll be here all day. I'm going to go even further back than football season. When we first got here last year, and it was previous off season, and there was a day in the weight room that my blood pressure got up high because we didn't do what we were supposed to do in the weight room. And anybody that's been around it, you guys know, we know if we don't win in there, we're not going to win anywhere. So there was a day where we didn't do what we were supposed to do in the weight room, and when we left that day, we learned from that. We did some up downs. I raised my voice, whatever you want to say. But so I think that day was a day where they realized, hey, we're not going to be able to do things the way I want to do them as a kid. We're going to do things the way Coach Langer wants them done, the staff wants them done. This program needs them to be done. And so from that point forward, the weight room continued to get better every day. Even now, we're getting better every day in the weight room. And so it was a big deal for them to know from our standpoint that, hey, we're going to do things the right way. And if it says we're doing this many reps and this many sets on this lift, this is how we're going to do it. And that's it. You don't get to do it your way. So I think that was big, even going into the season. I know you specifically asked football, but I think even before that,
Still related.
Yeah, definitely part
we
of
got
it.
better. We got better that day because they realized, hey, we got to work hard in the weight room.
And we can't continue to do the same thing over and over and
Right.
expect different results.
Sure.
So changing that mindset.
So that was a turning point, I think, for
Right.
that team, last year's team, but also overall program. Sure.
And that's still a challenge. It's still a big challenge.
Oh yeah, every day.
I mean, here again, the accountability. Good teams, coaches keep kids accountable. Great teams, players keep each other accountable. And we're just now starting to turn that corner just a little bit, but we still got a long ways to go. A turning point last year, it's a bad memory for me is a Harrison game. Harrison's up on us, mercy rule, whatever it was, and they put their JV 10th grade in on offense, and our guys took it. I mean, they just walked the ball down and scored on us, and that was disheartening, but it was a turning point. And that was one reason why I want to develop this character education manual is we need to look for adversity now. That's the way I think about it. We need to look for that adversity, and we need to take it on. Embrace it, take it on. Hey, man, bring it to me. You're not going to get it. It's not going to happen when I'm around. Mm-hmm. And any negative vibe on the sideline, that's not going to happen. So there it is. That's my part on that.
Coach Stout.
I guess a positive turning
Good.
point. Maybe the overtime game. where we've stepped in against what is normally a powerhouse in our conference and proved to ourselves as, I don't think the staff needs to prove to it. I think we all walk in every game believe we're going to win, but I think that was the game that kids realized, hey, we can play with these guys. Yeah. We haven't in a while, but we can. And, it's just, like I said earlier, one play either way, and, that 4 and 6 may be 6 and 4. And I think that was one of the games that proved that we can play with anybody in our conference.
And that's some of the battle.
Yes.
The players first realizing we can do this.
Yes. You gotta walk in and you gotta believe that you'll win. I've never faced anyone that I don't believe I can beat.
Exactly.
Anybody else? Good? Okay, Grant?
Okay, this question is more directed to Coach Stevens. What are you most excited about this upcoming season?
I'd say the challenges. Get out there and competing. I love competing everything you do. And, at this point, we're going, these kids are putting their work in, working 4 days a week, sometimes 5, 6 days a week, depending on what's going on that week. And they're putting the work in, and now we finally get to do the fun part. Get out there on the field, hit some people, score some touchdowns, hear the fans, bring the excitement back to the community. So that's what I look forward to, is seeing these guys get that ball rolling and get out there and play and compete and get everything they've earned.
All right. Any add-ons? No alibis? My question is, what kind of obstacles do you guys see in front of us for this 2019 season? That is.
I think it could be the same thing I was talking about a while ago, believing.
The belief.
We need to go out there and get that first win.
Right.
We need to go out there and prove that
Set the tone.
Set the tone for the season.
Right.
And hopefully that's week 1.
Exactly.
When we get on, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. An obstacle is when they get on the bus, knowing they got an opportunity to win, knowing that they put their pants on just like any other people, faceless opponent, they got a chance. That's big, and an obstacle could be we play a really good Little Rock Christian team open up. We could play really well, and just come on the opposite side of winning. I'll say this: you either win or learn. So, getting through this non-conference season and moving forward, there's no doubt that we could go 3-0. It's up to them.
Exactly.
My question is, I think Coach, you said there's 25 seniors on this team.
There are.
So how important is leadership on this team?
Well, it's huge, and we've got some great leaders by example. Unbelievable leaders by example. We probably need some more leaders, maybe be vocal. But this senior class is a special 25. Most seniors I've ever had on the team is 25. That's a lot. So they lead by example, and the seniors leadership got a lot of great athletes, some great speed, some good size. So leadership is a great role for this team.
Like you said, 25 seniors. We're going to have some sophomores playing this year. These seniors have been through some adversity with some 9th grade, not the season they wanted, 10th, 11th. And there's not going to be perfect plays. We're not going to have perfect plays every game. We're going to have some mistakes. These sophomores are going to have mistakes. These senior leaders are going to have to. I want to see them picking these kids up. Young quarterback going to make mistakes. I want to see them. Offensive linemen, receivers. Picking each other up, helping us, shaking that off. That's what these seniors are going to have to do this year.
And that's a different, usually when you get a big senior class, there's some division between the sophomores and seniors, and that's not the case in this group. Very, very different aspect. It's more like a family atmosphere. A sophomore may hang out with a senior. There's not selfishness. There's more selflessness that I would say than this group that I've been a part of in quite some time.
I think we have guys that are willing to follow.
Right.
I think that's just as important as your leaders as the rest of the team is willing to follow the leadership. And I think we, like you hit on that, I think we have that on this team.
All right, guys, you've already talked about this a little bit, but what role does team chemistry play on a team like this?
I think like we said, we've hit on it, but it's huge. I mean, if you can't get together and get along with your guys in the locker room, then you're not going to be successful on the field. Right. And I feel like we've got that. So special things can happen when you've got that. I know we've got a D-line, O-line group text that, I mean, it blows up nonstop. Those dudes wake me up at 1 in the morning just talking nonsense. But it's a close group. You know, they're always talking about hanging out together, and the special things are going to happen. So I think that's an important characteristic for a team, and I think that we're on the right tracks to get there.
Yeah, you know, Coach, we were talking a little bit yesterday, and I do have a son that's fortunate enough to be a sophomore on this team, and I was telling him that I'm surprised sometimes at some of the guys he tells me that he's running around with or hanging around with or whatever, and not in a bad way, I mean, but it's like what we talked about. It's easy to get that division between the older guys and the younger guys in the locker room, and I'm glad that, you know, they're accepting of the younger kids and bringing them along, like Coach Mack's talking about, helping pick them up. We had some other stories we talked about, some things that we'll maybe hit on in another question a little bit later about some of those seniors, you know, picking up some of the younger guys. And I've watched those kids grow up, different things that I do around the community, and this is a really, really classy group of seniors. I'll vouch for them too, and I've seen them do a lot of things, and I'm excited to see what they could do on the field. Madeline?
So, what makes up a great player? Like, what are the differences that they have to, like, work harder, or, like, what makes up a player great?
Somebody always asks me, Coach, he's your favorite. And I said, yeah, he is my favorite because he works hard, he's got a good attitude, he shows up on time. That's my favorite. Those type of kids that do those type of things, work hard, selfless, you know, you can't beat them. That's what a great player. A great player works hard in the weight room. A great player works hard in the classroom. A great player, whatever he's asked to do, he does it. A great player listens to his coaches before he listens to his parents. I mean, a great player is, here again, selfless. You know, a parent sometimes wants their son to be the quarterback, the running back, the receiver that catches, and maybe not satisfied with them being a defensive safety or linebacker or have a role with special teams. It takes a whole village, and role players are great players, like you asked. Anybody else want to add on that?
I think you touched on it a little bit, but being coachable is huge. And I've had the pleasure of coaching some really good players in my career at 4 different schools, and the ones that stood out were the ones that would take coaching or even come to the staff and ask questions, ask good questions. Hey, what do I got to do to get better? You know, what am I not doing well that I need to get better at? And then they're gonna take steps to make themselves better at those things. Obviously, talent helps with that, but It's also a lot of mental part of it too.
And just willing to win.
Team first.
Team first, willing to win. What it takes to win. Maybe it's not you running the ball. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're not in on this play. We need somebody. You're just taking a step back, and it's
Scout team.
Yeah, it's willing to win.
All right, so I think everybody that knows anything about football knows that we practice and we lift, you know, run plays and run drills and whatever. But let's talk about some of the other things that we do outside of just normal practice and normal lifting to prepare. And I'm talking about like the team camps and the 7-on-7s and what else have we done with this team over the summer to help prepare for the upcoming season?
Well, a lot of people probably don't know that the AAA mandates you can only do eight team activities during the summer, 8 days. And we were unfortunate not to do that because a 7-on-7 got canceled on us, but we did do a 2-day 7-on-7 at Shootout of the South. That's the largest 7-on-7 competition in the South, and I don't know if Vilonia had ever been to that tournament before. Some of you guys may know. We're runner-up in the highest division, that's a big deal. I've 23 years. I've done that one other time with a undefeated team. It's a big deal that we went there and competed, and it kind of opened some eyes of some people, some coaches around the state. I think it even opened our kids' eyes, a little bit. There were some offensive players made some great plays. There were some defensive players made some great plays. We had crucial stops at great times. Kids were coachable. I remember playing Maumelle twice during those 2 days. The first day they kicked us. The second days, hey, Coach Stout come up with a plan. Hey, let's do this. So maybe we can stay in front of them, and they're just really coachable. And we won that second time to get us on in the semifinals of that tournament. Beat the winner of last year's. It was Keller, Texas. So we had a great tournament at that 7-on-7. Not just that, we had 2 team camps here. And we had Lone Oak, Bauxite, Mayflower here, and then we went to Bauxite a couple times, and we had those same teams plus Sheridan. We were the best teams there. I mean, we were the best team there at most times, both offensively and defensively. Now, that's a team camp. I don't mean that it's a win or loss, but I thought at times we were the best team. But when you go back and you watch film, you say, man, we still have a long ways to go. I don't guess the coach is ever satisfied, but we've had a great summer as far as competition. And what do y'all want to add to any of that?
So I don't want to run away from the shootout of the South too quick, because I don't think most people, especially in Vilonia, realize how big of a deal that tournament is. I knew it was a big deal because I'd heard about it, heard them talk about it on the radio. PA is always big in that, and you've heard about it, but until you go down there and you watch it, you have no idea. And I got to stay down there each day we played, from a parent perspective, and sit around and listen to some of the teams that are the historically good, 7-on-7 teams, and that doesn't always, go into the season, but some of these teams are the Keller, Texas team, the Pulaski Academies, your Bryants, those teams are good on the football field too, and we stood toe-to-toe with those guys. So I don't think a lot of people realize how big of a deal that was, and it's impressive to see. So I'm going to throw a couple other questions that aren't on the list.
Let me add just to that a little bit. The first day we went 2-3, won 2 games, lost 3, and you could kind of feel a little negative, not negative, but just it wasn't any hype to it. And then the next day, we win 5 in a row, and then we get beat by Bryant in the finals. And it was you just see that confidence, like going upstairs. It's kind of a build, and we make it to the semifinals. So, hey, we're here. We might as well win this thing, And the kids started to believe in a little bit, and it's in a long day. Teams are tired. We were playing a lot of people because we had great numbers, and that just helped us.
So let's talk about 7-on-7, because some people say, that's not football. That's just dropping back and slinging all over the field. Tell me from an offensive perspective how you guys think 7-on-7 helps the Vilonia Eagles and the system we're trying to run.
I think it's huge. You think if we played 9-10 games in that weekend, think how many passes we got to throw, how many catches we got to make, how many routes we got to run, and then we got to coach them up on that stuff. And, kind of going off what you said about, we just stand back there and sling it, we didn't do anything offensively that we're not going to do in the season. Some teams, they may throw a stop route where the guard would normally be standing for the first down in 7-on-7 because there's no linemen, it's just receivers. Well, we don't do that. We called the exact same stuff we're going to call on Friday nights. And so I think it was big from an offensive standpoint that, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going into the season with, and it works. And it works against Keller, Texas, and the Maumelles, and the Bryants, and the big schools like you were talking about. And I think that was big for our kids too, to know, hey, this is good stuff. We're not drawing stuff in the dirt back there to try to come up with some big play because we're down and just making something happen. We went in offensively, strictly doing what we do offensively, even on a Friday night. So I think that was real big for our kids to see that. So,
Coach McIntyre, you've got, I guess you've got a mixture of veteran receivers and some non-veteran receivers, but we definitely have what we'd consider a non-veteran quarterback at this point. How is 7-on-7, in your opinion, good for all those guys getting on the same page?
Timing, helped with timing, just lots of reps, like Coach said. Also, played a lot of games, so a lot of people had to come in and play positions that they're not used to, but they were eager to learn, willing to learn, did what they had to win. We had guys that hadn't played our running back position in 7-on-7, got in there, did their job, spare 2 plays. I think that helped. You could see our quarterback, as the games progressed, he just got a little moxie in and got some confidence. You'd see some fist pumps looking like Tiger Woods out there, And you didn't see that the first day, but as the day went on, that second day, you saw it coming out. You saw the kids, the receivers, they miss a pass, that's my fault, don't keep your head up. They just started working together, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you could that Saturday was special.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So from the parents' perspective and sitting up there in the bleachers and just seeing what I'm seeing, I mean the offense definitely had some strides throughout the weekend, but from where I sat and what I saw, it looked to me like the defense had some really huge strides throughout the thing. And most people think 7-on-7 is just about offense. So Coach Stevens, Coach Stout, talk to me about how you guys get some preparations for the season from
Well, I know
7-on-7.
one thing I loved out of it that you can see through there, like Coach alluded to with coming up with the plan is, you guys know in regular season when we get going, a lot of times it's going to be those halftime adjustments, how the kids take the coaching at halftime and how they apply it, and haven't had a week to prepare and practice for it. And that's basically what we had that weekend. We got out there Friday night and we had some stuff going on we were doing, and it would work against some stuff, but some stuff it wouldn't. So we had to adjust on the fly and try to go in and coach it, and we didn't have a full week of work to practice the stuff that we'd have in later. So we had to install it on the fly in the middle of being there. You finish one game, run up to another field, and
Sure.
go play another. So we're installing stuff as we're going to the next game, and they were able to take that coaching and translate onto the field and come out victorious out of it. And then, so to me, that shows a lot of the character of the kids, their coachability, and just really paying attention, buying in, and trusting what we're telling them and going out and executing what we're asking them to do. That's what I love.
Everything Coach has said, I agree with 100% as far as the kids. And one thing that I got out of it is some of the adjustments that we made is now part of our package. The coverages that we come up with, facing the teams, and teams like PA, those are people we want to go beat in the playoffs in a couple of years. Those are this year, excuse me. This year we want to go beat them in the playoffs. Hopefully they'll have to come to our place or something. I'm very optimistic on that. But some of the things we was able to come up with as a staff that we used that day is now part of our defensive practice. That's what we do now. This last week or two out there in practice, we're running those same coverages now. So I think it helped us actually add some stuff that's going to help us have wins this year.
Very good, very good. A big deal and a big feather in the hat to the Vilonia Eagles going down there and competing with some of the best in the South, no doubt. All right, let's move on to another one, Alan.
I've got a 2-part question. So during game week, gentlemen, what do you guys do as a coaching staff to prepare the team, and then how do you go actually prepare the team? Well, what are your preparations, and then what are the team's preparations during game week?
I'll start. Offense is a lot easier to coach than defense during the game, during the season.
That's true.
We start the week before. We'll get our opponent's film. We have to break that down, and what that consists of is how much ever input you want to put in the computer. Down and distance hash, if the running back's toes are on the quarterback's feet. It goes down to those small details. Is a guard backed up, formation, reports, and that sort of thing.
Tendencies.
Yes, tendencies. A lot of tendencies there, and we do that. We'll do the 2 games before that Friday night that we play, and then Saturday morning we get here and do the previous game, do all that, and then come up with a semi-game plan on Saturday before we leave to think about it overnight. We show back up at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, and we install that defensive game plan. Monday there's usually a JV game, and what we do there is we'll basically install what we want to do, how we want to line up against a certain team, and then we get a lift in with our non-JV guys, and then we'll go to a JV game, and then on Tuesday morning is early morning weights for the non-JV, and then Tuesday's usually our longest practice. I mean, we have to put in the time. I typically have a timer on the loudspeaker. I don't like going over 2 hours of just, we'll go 50, 55 minutes of offense, 50, 55 minutes on defense, or be a 15-minute special teams. But that makes us coach. I mean, that makes us do what we got to do. And I always like to know, hey, when the buzzer rings, I'm out. Coach, how many sprints we're doing? We do those, I'm out. So I think it gives a good flow to our practice. So I'm to Wednesday. Wednesday we're shoring up everything we've got. Thursday's a special teams day, a film day, and then Friday is let's get it on day.
You're right.
And I typically would think, and I'm not speaking for Coach Sweeney, they do very similar on Saturday and Sunday. And here again, what I said about offense, typically on offense, you know what you're going to do. Here's how they're going to line up. When they stop this, here's my counter for it. And that's their job to find out that and execute that. We kind of shrunk our playbook a little bit offensively, and we're going to do what we do and get better.
So essentially, you found out what you guys do best, and let's hammer that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll, like Coach said, not just offensively, everybody around the table. So we spend a lot of time watching film, hours upon hours going to watching film, and we'll find out what they're going to do, how they're going to line up, what we think they're going to do against us, what blitz, what coverage, what front are we going to see, and we'll just collaborate and try to figure out what we do and how it works. And then, like Coach said, the big part of that is, hey, if they change this or if they stop this, then what can we do off of it? What's our answer to that?
Right.
He alluded to something too about film. After each Friday night game, our kids are required to watch their film and grade their film on effort, assignment, those types of things. And that means everybody grades film. If you didn't play, you're still grading your position film, and I like to get those and compare. All right, John Sweeney, you played and you got plus. Josh McIntyre didn't play, but he graded you and he gave you minus. Why aren't these the same? Mm-hmm. A lot of times kids they don't want to be tough on themselves, and there's some kids that say, man, I just sucked it up and they minus all the way down. I said, you didn't minus that bad. But but there are kids like that. I've coached kids that said, Coach, I just wasn't any good. And then there's some kids that they just plus it all the way down. And we always have to, if they put a minus, they have to tell what did you do wrong. And here again, that's another way we coach accountability, character, and self analysis is real big.
Well, we do that in life.
You betcha. We better.
Yeah, exactly. Grant?
Okay, at the end of the season, when y'all are looking back on how you did, how do you know if it was a successful year?
I'm going to start. I want some other people to jump in, but you won't know if it's a successful year 10 or 15 years down the road. And what I mean by that is when people come back in this field house, they say, Coach, greatest days of my life, we're playing football, and I've got 2 kids, I got a great job. That's how you know it's a successful season. There's so many wins that are off the field that people don't get to see, that people in here get to see. That is great. Now, we all want to win every game. I want to win every game. That's what I want to do, but not necessarily. I've coached a 7-3 team that I didn't enjoy coaching very much because of the character of the kids, and I've coached a 3-7 team that I thought I did my best coaching. Kids just, they just balled out, for lack of a better term. So, coaches, somebody else.
Are they better men at the end of the season than they was at the beginning of the season? You know, are they better? Yeah, are they better teammates at the end of the season? Are they still fighting at the end of the season? You know, in 5A, only one team's going to end with the win, and you know, hopefully that's us. But if not, those seniors, we're talking about this large group of seniors, are they better people, better men at the end of the season than they was at the beginning of the season? If that answer is yes, then it was success.
I think from a performance standpoint, it's going to be, are we competing every week? Are we competing all the way for 4 quarters every week? You know, obviously we all want to win, but even if we end up on the losing side, are we still going to play for 4 quarters? Because people say football is a lot like life, and I believe that because there's so much adversity that happens throughout the course of the season. How are we going to respond to all the adverse situations? I mean, when we fumble, are we going to start pointing fingers and arguing, or are we going, hey, let's get it next time? You know, and I think that shows kids bonding together and maturing and becoming men, because they're going to have to do that the rest of their lives, working with people and working with their spouses and kids, and that's how football is going to teach these kids how to be successful in life.
The Frank Burroughs theory. In the fourth quarter of a game in life, are we still going to play like we did in that first quarter?
Right.
So with that, anybody else got anything to add on to that? We're going to kind of switch over and gear our questions more offensively and defensively now. So I'm going to lead it off with some offensive questions right here. So what can the fans expect to see from offensive set this year from our team?
Well, as far as formations go,
Right.
it'll be very similar to what you've seen last year. We've got some kids, big kids that are really good at blocking, tight end type kids that we may put a tight end in there every now and then, getting the tray
Right.
set. But very similar to what you've seen last year. I think we're going to talk about it here in a little bit, but I'm hoping those stay similar and our tempo increases. So fast, high pace, multiple formations. You know, I think that's a benefit to us. We can move 1 or 2 kids and maybe give the defense a completely different look, but not really change much for us, and just still do what we do.
So running some of the same type of plays out of just different looks.
Yes.
Right.
What does this year's roster offer you that will make what you're wanting to do on offense easier?
Well, we want to be quick game, screen game, run the ball. And we have the dudes to do that. We have, track season we won 5A track. We have 2 of the fastest dudes in the conference. It's timed. You can't argue it.
No.
We want to get them the ball. We want to get them the ball in space. And quickest way we can. Let them do their thing. That's what we want to do.
I think too, and we've touched on it several times today, but going off what Coach Mack said, this roster is full of selfless kids. And so if it's a receiver that maybe is not catching that pass, but he's blocking for him, or if it's the O-line that's not going to get their name called out, may not be, all the hype around it, but their character, their selflessness, man, it's huge. And it's top to bottom, it's everywhere. I think it's a huge part of who we are as a program, but also specifically offensively, that we just got guys that they don't care who gets it. They don't care who gets the credit for it. They're willing to do whatever they need to do, to help us be successful.
Right. And I guess I got the next question. Anybody want to add on to that one? So last year's seniors, what type of holes did they leave us to fill this year?
Is that me?
That's this side of the table right here.
I do have notes on that.
Hey, we need to get Coach.
Let me, scoot up. Sorry. Let me say this about last year's seniors. I don't want to, I'm going to tweak your question a little bit.
There you go.
I'm sorry. That's your.
No, that's fine.
Here's the thing, and this hits home very specifically to me, 'cause I touched on it earlier about, my senior year, new staff, new
Right.
culture, new everything. And so I was where those guys were, exactly where they were.
Right.
And so that senior class helped us take strides to where we want to be. They did things how we wanted them done for the benefit of the program overall.
Right.
And so instead of us coming in and their attitudes not being right and us taking further strides backwards, we got to take strides forward because they bought in, because they did what they were supposed to do.
Right.
And I don't think you realize that. I don't think I would have realized it until now and being through that same situation. And so it was really important that those guys, they're more important than they even know, because they helped us do that, because they helped
Right.
us make strides in the right direction. And that's huge for us. You could get into very specific stuff, and that they were a good group of seniors. They were a good group to be around. Some good kids, again, some really good kids. But I think the biggest thing they did was they helped us move in the right direction, and that's so big. And we talked about it a little bit, but we won't necessarily see that. They probably don't see it. Fans might not have seen it, but it happened, and it was successful in the sense of, if this is where we want our program to be, if this is where we want to go, then those dudes, they were the first step
Right.
in order to do that.
They
So
were
that's
helping
huge.
developing your culture for your
Absolutely.
future classes. Right.
What specifically would you like to see out of your seniors this year?
I'd like to see within the offensive line, the seniors that are on that line, to show leadership, and especially towards our young quarterback. I think that's going to be huge for him to have confidence in those big guys in front of him. That hey, we're going to keep you clean tonight. You get back there and do your thing. We're going to keep you clean, do our job, and I think them instilling confidence in a young quarterback is going to be huge. I mean, our offensive line is huge, and hopefully when he's going to believe what they say when they talk to him.
Any other position, Coach, like to elaborate?
Coach Mack touched on it a little bit. Just our senior dudes that are dudes being dudes every week.
Right.
There's some, specifically to a senior class, that there's some guys that will be very crucial to us being successful. And so those guys showing up, continuing to work hard, continuing to be the dudes we know they are, that will be very beneficial for us.
I think you both of y'all kind of touched on it. But the offensive tempo, what are y'all comfortable with this team?
We'd like to go fast. We'd like to go faster than we went last year. Coach Langer talked about it a little bit, and making sure doing what we do and doing it well, so that our tempo can be even more. I think that's a benefit for us. It helps offensively. It makes defenses do more of a base defense and helps us to be more successful. So we want to be faster than we were. On the flip side of that, we want to make sure we're doing things right. If we're a half a second slower because the O-line needs to communicate for a minute because of a blitz, or if the quarterback needs to see something to make sure he's right and we're a little bit slower, I'm okay with that. But just from a tempo specific, we want to move as quick as possible. And execute.
Yeah. I've got a kind of a follow-up question to that. How many plays per game do you guys consider fast?
80.
80?
And
So typical slow, your run, ground and pound type offense, they're going to get
40
in
to 50.
40. Yeah, this was
So I guess now that's making me think, what did we average last year per game? Because I don't know that stat.
There were different games.
Right.
Some of them, it was in the 40s to 50s, and some of them were up there in the 60s to 70s. And that's kind of a misconception too. I've scored 48 points in a game running 23 plays. So there's a misconception about playing fast too.
And total number of
total
plays.
number of plays.
Yeah.
All right, you guys talked about the quarterback being, younger, but you talked about the trust he's had. Can you guys tell me what was the main goal, or what is the main goal this season for that quarterback?
I think bigger than anything else, as far as specifically what he does, I think mine and his relationship. we're going to spend a lot of time together. I told him the other day, I said, you're going to be sick of me. You're going to be tired of coming out here and hanging out with me. But our relationship, our ability to communicate with one another when it's crazy, right after a pick or right after a touchdown or whatever it is, I think there's some trust. There's already, and our relationship's great already, even in the short amount of time we got to spend with each other. And our trust is good, but it's going to continue to be better. And he's got to know that what we do is going to be good, and I've got to know that when he's the one out there seeing it, he's the one out there doing it. So when he comes off the field and says, "Hey, this looks like this, or this is happening. What can we do?" Just being able to communicate with one another rapidly sometimes, but then also if defense is out there for a little bit, just making sure that we can figure things out.
Let me tell you what I think. I think number one is he's not going to win or lose the game.
Right.
I mean, the team is not just on the quarterback.
Exactly.
And he needs to relieve some of that pressure on himself and hand the ball off. Man, get the ball handed off. Let us go. And pressure don't need to be all on his shoulders.
Good point.
Yep. It takes the whole team. So I got to fill in the blank. That'll be the last offensive question. So get ready, defensive side. 4th down. Fill in the blank question, and everybody can answer. So if we do this blank, we'll be successful on the offensive side of the ball each night.
We do our job.
We stay selfless.
Okay.
My group, if we block, we got to block.
That's
If
simple.
we don't block, I'm letting you guys mad. So,
Coach Smith.
With Mac, everybody does their job,
Right.
and it's gonna be, I'm not gonna say flawless, but you're gonna get
Right.
the outcome that you want. Where I was last time, I helped do receivers, and our big emphasis on them is you're probably gonna catch the ball maybe 10% of the game. With the offense that we ran, 90%, you're gonna have to stall. And if you don't stalk at the next level, when that guy gets out there,
Right.
your dude's gonna make the tackle. And so you just gotta do your job, whatever that is when it's called.
There you go.
Excellent. I'm enjoying the back and forth. I like this. Roll on.
All right. We punted offense. Defensive turn.
Never punt. You're in the
off.
end zone. They kick it off. Defense's turn.
All right.
I'm the punt coach. We don't do that. We're not punting much.
All right. So defense. What kind of sets can we see from you guys this year? I know last year we did I just from the booth I could see a 3-4. I could see a 3-3. My terms. I don't know if that was exactly your terms. But I see a couple of different formation, defensive sets. What's going to be our base? What are we going to venture into?
Well, we have changed over to an odd stack, which that's just 3-3, dual
Okay.
coverages, sides of the field, and it puts our best 11 on the field. Last year we based out of a 4-3, but this year we have changed that, and I've always been a even front guy.
Right.
And I like covering up the guards, but this gets I'm still some of Coach Kane's thunder here. 3 very good senior defensive linemen.
Right.
We've got some linebackers that'll run. So like I said, we went to this defensive scheme. It's not just because of me. We want to put the best 11 on the field.
It's because of personnel you got.
Personnel. And there's going to be times we play Clarksville. We won't be in a 3-3. With that crazy offense that they run, we're going to have to put people where we think are best suited. And Little Rock Christian, we'll get their Bates. We'll go watch them. And last year they were kind of wide open, and we may have less in a box. I don't know. So we're just going to have to do what we think we can be successful. Y'all go ahead.
Well, I think going to the defense coach you're going to allows us to use athletes we have. I think this team overall, Coach touched on a while ago, we have some speed. We have some speed in our skill position. We have some guys out there that, multiple sport type kids. So we got Coach, you got a middle linebacker that plays basketball and is big time in the paint. Well, hopefully use them same skills between the tackles right there. But I think it allows us to get more speed on the field and fits our personnel more. I know coaching safeties, I'm able to. I have 3 safeties this year versus 2 last year, and we have some kids that can run.
Right.
The main thing though, we got to get them to tackle. But we're going to get there. Hopefully we'll tackle. I think that's one of the main emphasis. I think we're going into this year is not only getting us lined up right. It's not a difficult defense. It's not we're doing kind of a split coverage in the back, but it's simple. You really got 2 choices, and then pin years back and go hit the man.
And thank you for all that speed you've taught them.
God blessed them with some speed.
Well, you certainly assisted.
Madeline, go ahead, and I think this will be a good spot to let Coach Kane and Coach Stevens jump in there with some of the things that they're coaching on their side.
Okay, so what are some of the specific positions that help y'all accomplish your defensive goals?
Kind of piggyback on what these guys said. When we, went to attack defense this year, we looked at our guys and what we got and tried to put them in the best position to make plays and be successful. And so, like Coach Stout said, we've got a lot of speed. We've got some really talented D linemen, like Coach Langer said, that we're really excited about seeing what they can do, free them up, go make some plays. We've got some really smart kids that can go make plays and kind of run the defense and putting them in a position to do that. So we've kind of got all the tools and just trying to put them in the right position, let them go excel and go be dudes.
Well, and for me, the same thing everybody said. I feel like one of our biggest strengths as a team is our team speed. I've been here 15 years. I said 14 earlier, but I've been here 15 years, and if not the fastest, it's at least in the top 2 or 3 fastest overall teams that I've been a part of. Right. We've got guys in like one of his DNs down there. He could be a skill guy in most sets. He could be a linebacker. We could run everything across the board. Everything. So I think that's what helps us, and we'll go into the 3-3 that we're looking at is we're getting our athletes on the field. Everything. And just a look at the depth that we have there. I'm working a kid that's playing primarily offense. That's one of the fastest kids on the team that I don't have to have over there all the time on defense because I've got other depth that could play there.
Right.
Anything about still have him in the back pocket too if I need to pull him in there. But we've got speed everywhere, which helps. Speed kills. So I like
Exactly.
And when you go back and self-scout our team from last year, anytime we got movement, we had movement within our D-front linebackers. A lot of times we had negative plays. This defense puts us in a position where we're more multiple in moving the scheme of the front backers. So I think that's going to help us too.
Good. All right. Similar question to the offensive side. What kind of vacancies did this last departing senior class? What kind of vacancies did they leave on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we had a couple linebackers and a safety, all-conference safety. We lost. We may have been playing. We were playing a couple people out of position by necessity.
Right.
I think they're in their natural position now. So anytime you lose that experience, somebody's been in the war, been in the trenches, I think that's a loss. But we've got a lot of people that have experience. I think we've got maybe 2 sophomores that we're expecting to come in and play a big role on defense. But other than that, I think there's 9 seniors on the starting defense, and we don't really have anybody going both ways right as of now. Now we'll have maybe a split time here and there, but you're primarily the defensive player, you're primarily the offensive player, and we never tell that to a kid, but because they have an offensive position and a defensive position, but that's how we're doing things.
Well, that's what numbers allow you guys to do, and the amount of athletes you guys have allows you to do that, to be more fresh for defense or
versus tired.
Right. Versus back in the day, sure, when some of you guys played, we were looking at numbers like 21, 22 players. So a lot different.
He was a stud,
though.
Next question.
No comment.
There's, back, and I'm similar ages. I didn't come off the field.
No.
And it can be done.
Yeah, it can be.
It can be done. We was
Offense,
talking
defense, punt,
Darren
kickoff.
McFadden. I coached against him from 7th to 12th grade. God-given talent, blessed, but he was as good on defense as he was on offense.
He played safety, didn't he?
Yeah, played safety at 7 yards and played on kickoff and kickoff return. So it can be done. It can be done, and that's our job to make sure a kid is selfless enough to say, hey, they need some help. It's my turn.
But the kids are playing so many different sports nowadays. They play so much through the summertime. Their body needs that downtime, and that's what we've got the luxury of having is the numbers and the amount of athletes to allow them to have that downtime a little bit and not wear them out.
More kids playing.
More kids playing. Exactly. Madeline? Or we're at Grant. I'm
We're at
sorry.
Grant.
Art Grant.
I don't know, marked you off.
So, what specifically would you like to see out of your seniors this season, defensively?
Like we talked about, I've got a bunch of senior linemen, so I would love to see those guys step up and be leaders. I mean, they're the first point of attack, first point of contact. So I feel like we tell those guys, offensively and defensively, if we're going to be good, it's going to be based off of what the line does. And so it's got to start with us. So I'd love to see those guys really step up and make plays and then be that leader that we've talked about. And watch that trickle down to the rest of the team.
To echo off of him, and then what Coach said earlier, we have a lot of kids that do a great job of leading by example, but we really need someone to step up and be that vocal leader. And you need that more so on defense than ever. I mean, you got to have that guy that's wild and crazy and let's go get them and gets people fired up. And right now, where's that at? And we need that guy to step up.
You know what? It happened a few times in team camp. You know, I'm talking about Corbin Watson. There's some times that, that guy's a church mouse. A lot of our guys are church, they don't say nothing. But, man, he showed some emotion. Of course, he made some plays, and he was running around, and it's contagious. It's catch the virus, man. I mean, it's contagious, and it's like running downhill.
Out of my 3 safeties, I'm probably going to start one senior. But he leads by example. Right now, he runs the secondary. He makes the calls. I've got to get him a little more vocal, a little more excited. But I think once we get that I'm going to be very pleased with my leader back there.
Yeah. He's kind of your quarterback of your defense.
He is. Well, it's Nick Lewis. So, he's a pretty good athlete. I don't have my keys in here.
That's somebody's truck.
No, not mine.
I don't have my keys in my pocket. With that, Madeline,
Okay.
can we get past that?
So obviously speed is a big strength of this team, offensively and defensively. But what are some other strengths on defense?
The seniors, 9 seniors on the team on the defense, and could possibly be more. That's a strength. I think.
You guys a little beat down.
Yeah, come out.
Somebody kick in a little.
Well, senior leadership, the senior with experience, that's a big plus for our defense. I think narrowing down what we do in the secondary, the back half of the defense, we've kind of condensed that. Like Coach said, they got 2 choices, and it's up to our free safety to get us in that route call and play. Just play.
All right.
All right, guys. Now, I'm especially curious about the secondary here, but how confident are you in the defense thus far?
Very. We just went down and went toe-to-toe in the big, so where all it is passing, went toe-to-toe with big boys and, made it to the finals.
Right.
So you go in there and do that, you got to have some confidence. You don't just roll out of bed and do that. You put your time in to do that.
Right.
So,
That parlays over into that mental aspect as far as believing that we can accomplish it.
Like Coach said, biggest thing from last year to this year, we've got to tackle better. That's the major emphasis for us to do is to tackle better and pursue. Tackle and pursue.
Right. Any other coaches like to parlay off of that one? Last defensive question is going to kind of similar to the offensive fill-in-the-blank type of question. Each coach fill in. If we do this one thing here, if we do this blank, we'll be successful on the defensive side of the ball.
Tackle. Football's still tackling and blocking. If someone over there said block, they're going to be successful. We tackle, we're successful. Right?
I can say too, if we pursue as a team, we'll be successful. If we have takeaways, usually a team with takeaways is usually on the winning side of that. But takeaways and pursuit.
I'd say if we play with aggression, we've got to be aggressive. I mean,
Bad intentions.
the baddest dudes out there. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I agree with all the above, but then my biggest thing is pursuit. Where you at? An old quote is you could tell the commitment of defensive player by the distance he is from the ball at the end of the whistle. So how close he is when the whistle blows, and that's what's going to be.
Good.
Gang tackle, a flock of eagles, as we like to say on the broadcast. Tackled by a flock of eagles, absolutely. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. One thing that we probably should talk about is some of the facility upgrades that are going on around the stadium this summer, and be ready to go the first time all the fans come in and see the Friday Night Lights. Talk about the upgrades.
Well, that's administration, the support we've gotten from our athletic director, Nick Newman, and Dr. Stevens. We're going to have a brand new field, turf, that's been installed as we sit here right now, or they're taking our old out. It's going to have a different look. It's going to look awesome. There's some fencing area that we're moving away from the concession stand a little bit, and concrete, so to free that part up. There's already some signage up, some posters that we've gotten up on the visitor bleachers, and as you walk into the stadium entrance, all those things are, when somebody comes over here, they need to say, "Wow, Vilonia's got it going on." That brings people in. It makes our kids prideful in what they have. When it's clean, it's nice. That it's showing that the school supports athletic programs, and that's what's going on right now. I mean, our administration and our community is supporting. Not only that, our basketball gyms just got resurfaced. They look great. So it takes money, and our district is district, and if you want to help support us, there's an opportunity to do that on our field with a display of maybe your company or team name or whatever you want. You can come see me or email Mr. Newman. There's opportunities for you to give back to our community too.
Right. Something for everybody to be proud of. Just like you said, when other towns and other teams come in, we're like, wow. Because I mean, there's some other facilities around the state you walk into and you're like, man, this is nice.
Yeah, and I didn't mention, last year we got a new scoreboard that looks a lot better, brighter. New 25-second clock. So it's a process. It's a process of getting to where we want. It's a vision that we're trying to reach. It's not my vision. It's all of our visions here at Vilonia.
Right. Yeah, I've seen a picture or a rendering or whatever of the new field. Looks really nice. It's going to be, like you said, it's going to look as good as the basketball court looks right now that just recently got finished up. So excited about that and what's going on. All right, guys, I got a couple of what I call toss-up questions here, and I'm just gonna. The first one I'll start and go this way, so then Sweeney will be prepared. He's been cheating over here, looking at my questions already. And then the next one I'll start and go this way, so everybody gets a chance. It's just silly stuff, just like I said, so people understand y'all are more than just football coaches. So the first one, Coach Langrel, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh, man, Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke. Coach Stout.
Hey, slow down.
Tombstone.
Remember the Titans.
Very good.
I do remember Titans also.
Coach Smith.
I did.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. All right.
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Awesome. Braveheart.
Braveheart. Coach Sweeney.
A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men. Hey, those are some classics. I like it. Y'all want to tell what y'all's favorite movies are too?
Gotta be Braveheart.
Braveheart's a good one. All right, Coach Sweeney. We'll start with you, and we'll go this way this time, so you guys get a chance to think on it. The last place you went on vacation.
We went this summer for about a week. My in-laws have a lake house in Fairfield Bay, and we got to go swim and bowl and putt golf and be out on the boat for a while. It was good. kids really enjoyed it. Good family time, so it was fun. We had a good time.
Awesome. Coach Mack?
Uh,
This will be good.
During dead period, I went to Europe for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Amsterdam, Venice, and Croatia.
Hey,
We're good.
All right, Coach Davison.
Our family just went on a trip to Destin, spent a week down there, and most of us, or a lot of us, probably got married during the dead period. I was one of those. So
Oh,
we always end up spending our anniversary during the dead period. So every time we go on vacation, it's a vacation and an anniversary trip.
Outstanding. Coach Smith, last vacation you took?
My wife's family's from Virginia, so we took kids and them went up there, visited D.C., went to Ocean City. And I'm going to give a shout out to my wife on this one because I'm a big Indians fan, Cleveland Indians fan, and we went to a game up there in Baltimore. And she got Francisco Lindor to sign my jersey. He was walking away, and she said, "Hey, Frankie!" And he turned around and said, "Only you would get a dude to come back." So it was pretty exciting, but that's what we did.
Oh, yeah. Coach Stevens?
I took my daughter and my wife and went to Disney World on spring break.
Oh, very nice. Coach Kane?
We went down to Destin, Niceville. I got family down there, so we went and stayed with them over dead period for a week. Got to enjoy that area.
We did the Orange Beach trip this year. So, we spent a
Redneck
week
Riviera.
down there. Oh, yes. I was the redneck there.
I was there.
Coach Langer?
I went to Damascus, Arkansas. And a staycation, but my wife and son, they spent a week in Orange Beach this week. They'll be coming home tomorrow.
Very good. All right. We'll start over here this time, go back around. Your favorite sports team other than the Vilonia Eagles?
I got that.
You know, I don't watch much pro ball, but I would say Arkansas Razorbacks.
All right, very good.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was afraid never mind. Go ahead.
All I got to do.
Coach Kane?
I guess I'd have to go with the Razorbacks. I don't really have one.
All right, good.
Dallas Cowboys.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. All right, that one's coming out of left field.
Lifelong St. Louis Cardinal fan.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Razorbacks.
I don't know that I have one. I'm more of a fan, I guess. I watch the big games on Saturday more so than Sunday, and just try to still love the game and watch the game. And
It definitely keeps you from having the highs and lows of being an Arkansas Razorback fan from the last couple of seasons. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so this will be the last of the toss-ups unless you guys thought of anything. Anybody? Bueller? Okay, all right, here we go. If you had to pick a last meal, what would your last meal be?
pizza, Diet Mountain Dew.
Blueberries.
Granola.
What is it, man?
Grass-fed. Yeah.
All right, Coach Davidson.
A tray of all different kinds of meats.
Meat Palooza.
Meats. Seafood. That too, yes.
Coach Smith?
Anything barbecue.
All right, yeah, very good. Coach Stevens?
Steak, potatoes.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Hot wings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seafood.
Seafood.
Shrimp, scallops.
Coach Langro?
Summer tomato, fried potatoes, beans, cornbread, sauerkraut, and weenies. That's my all-time favorite growing up. That's what we had, and man, I think I'm gonna have it tonight. I've been bacheloring all week, and I've been eating what you want.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I might even add a pork chop to that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if y'all can tell by looking, but us too, we kind of like to eat. I hear anything out there I wouldn't eat, so some good choices right there. Good choices. All right, so that was a fun little deal there. Grant, we've got kind of I kind of left you a biggie there.
Yeah, you did.
Lay it on them.
Okay, I know you guys are sad it's the end, but do you believe that this team right now can make a playoff run?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Big one.
I tell you what, my dad called me. My mom passed away in January of this year, and he called and wanted to go to the Rocky Mountains. And he says, "Well, let's make it after football season." I said, "Dad, after football season, after my last game, I'm still going to be playing. So I don't know how long that'll be, but I plan on playing, and hopefully it's 4 weeks after that last game.
Well, I'm gonna go along with him. I'm actually going to a Steeler game this year, man. My son, and when we was picking out what game, I picked one in December after the state championship. I made sure that we was not scheduled before that.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to throw anything in on the? We pretty much knew it was going to be a resounding yes, but anyways, okay. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the coaches pregame show. I want to thank every one of you guys for taking time. I know your schedules are very, very busy, especially this time of the year, getting prepared for a big season and all the excitement that goes around it. So thank you guys for taking, an hour, hour and a half, wherever we're at, to sit down and do this. It's a lot of insight. It's something that Alan and I and Grant and Madeline, we felt like the community would really enjoy getting to see, just getting to see your face with a name. A lot of people see the backs of your heads the whole time from the stands, and they don't really get that interaction. So very good thing to sit down and do. Hopefully we can make it an annual tradition. I'd love to if it's something you guys want to do. I want to say that from a broadcast perspective, the first broadcast is going to be the benefit game, August the 27th. We're going to have Heber Springs here in Vilonia on the new turf with all the new facility upgrades. So everybody come on out to the benefit game and see that. If you can't make it, you get to listen to the four of us talk about random stuff during downtime of a benefit game. That's how it goes. We'll probably play some of these clips too. And then the big show, the first Friday night, big game, September the 6th at Little Rock Christian. Not a long road trip, so come on down, support the Eagles in person. If you absolutely can't do it, we'll have it live starting at around 6:15 with a pregame show, 7 o'clock kickoff. Guys, any last thoughts you want to add from the broadcast crew? Coaches, any last closing comments or thoughts you want to add in?
We appreciate all that y'all do, and it's a great service that y'all do, and the community loves what y'all do. Thanks to the sponsors. I know Linda Marie's is a big one. Yeah. She helps us out a whole bunch. That family, the Weaver family, and we're looking forward to a great, exciting football season. And invite anybody and everybody to come out. I think you'll enjoy the product that's put out on the field.
Absolutely. All right, appreciate it. With that, again, tune in August 27th to see the benefit game. Thanks for watching.